Now moving on to Washington, right? Washington is going to get a higher grade from me than the consensus because here's what I'm going to say. Okay. Everyone is going to complain. I've already seen it about the Emmanuel Forbes pick to start off the draft. If you haven't watched Emmanuel Forbes tape, just say so because that guy broke the record for FBS pick sixes. He had an unbelievable amount of interceptions. Okay. But it's more so on tape. You see the 4.3 speed. The only knock on him is that he's a little skinny. Okay. He's like 180, whatever. I don't care. Okay. I don't.
He's gaining weight right now.
Forbes is ready to start and contribute and be like Patrick Peterson coming out right now. That's what he is. So I love that pick. Quan Martin out of Illinois. Some people list him as a corner. Some list him as a safety. He doesn't have to play safety. They have Cam Curl and they have Derek Forrest, who they really like. They have Jeremy Reeves, who they really like. They have Percy Butler, who they really like. So they got 4 really good safeties. Quan Martin is probably going to be their nickel corner. Okay, so he's probably going to be their nickel guy. They got a stud nickel at 47 out of what you're calling DBU in Illinois. So Emmanuel Forbes, they get better in the secondary. They get better in the secondary with Martin. They go out and they get my second overall center in Ricky Stromberg. I had a second round grade on him. They get him in the 3rd. Mock drafts had him in the 5th. Your mock drafts were wrong. I'm sorry. Ricky Stromberg is a day 2 guy. And so I love that pick. Braden Daniels, that was one of your guys. I love Braden Daniels. Can play guard, can play tackle. He gives you upside, whether or not, he's going to replace a guy like maybe Sam Cosme down the road. You got Andrew Norwell. He doesn't have to play right away. You have Charles Leno. You have Andrew Wiley. So Stromberg and Braden Daniels give you depth, but also give you versatility because Stromberg can also play guard. That's 3 spots, Cam. And when you look at, Braden Daniels, I think he could play all 5. So now you got versatility there, a total of 8 positions. Then you have KJ Henry, who was really good at Clemson. I think he got a little overshadowed in this process. So he's a pass rusher who you add to that rotation. Chase Young is going to be a free agent after the season. You didn't bring back his 5th-year option. You have Montez Sweat. But after that, it's like, I can definitely see why they added somebody. James Smith-Williams is the only other guy, and William Bradley King. So I think KJ Henry has a chance to have be a contributing factor in his first year as a 5th-round pick. Then you go on and you get Chris Rodriguez Jr., who, he's a 6th-round pick. Okay, he wasn't a guy that was really highly talked about. You have Brian Robinson. You have Antonio Gibson. You add Chris Rodriguez Jr. here. He's got deceptive speed, but the thing about him is his patience. I see some Le'Veon Bell in his game. So is this a gem? I don't know, but we've seen a lot of gems come out of the 6th and 7th round at this position. So I wouldn't rule it out. And then Andre Jones Jr. out of Louisiana Lafayette, another edge defender. So they went and got 2 edge defenders. I think Washington gets an A- from me, Cam. I think they went out and they got some studs. Like, we're talking their first 4 picks are guys that I absolutely love in this draft. Forbes, Martin, Stromberg, Daniels. I like Henry. I like Rodriguez. Jones is pretty solid in his own right. So I'm giving it A-. I think the Commanders got a lot better. They had a lot of pressure on them to, take a quarterback. There was a lot of rumors that it would be Hendon Hooker or somebody like that. I think they made the right move, Cam. I think they just focused on getting better as an overall team. And look, they spent a 5th-round pick on Sam Howell. They went out and signed Jacoby Brissett. I think they're ready to let it roll with those 2.
Yeah, and think about this too, Jake. You talked about the Washington football team getting better. We talk about some of these off seasons, right? I'm gonna give the Washington football team a B+. We're gonna give them the B+ instead of a B, or like you said, contrary to the popular opinion, they got Eric Bieniemy in as offensive coordinator. So they're getting better on the offensive side as well as a coach, right? Someone who has championship experience. Jacoby Brissett, like you said, he's gonna be able to pour into him. So the offensive side, you're sitting pretty. So you look at this draft here; it's mostly covering defensive positions, except of outside of a center, tackle, and running back. But other than that, you got more defensive players than offensive players. I like it, Jake. I like it. And so you talk about Emmanuel Forbes. Watching his tape, Jake, you mentioned it. People haven't watched it. Pick 6 magnet. I mean, he's probably the most athletic person on the field at most times, I would say. Some of the concentration interceptions that he has, 4 touchdowns, are insane. Like, he's not even looking at the ball. He's not looking at the quarterback. He's looking at the receiver. He makes a play on the football. The ball pops up in the air. He's on the sideline, catches it, and then scores a touchdown. It's like some of these plays, you're like, wait a minute. Like, you got to have
different, man.
You build different. You got to have magnets on your hands, my guy, because this is crazy. You mentioned being skinny. Like I said, he's getting stronger now, Jake. When you get to the NFL, you're going to put on more weight. You're going to get stronger. Your muscle, composition is going to change. Let's not worry about that. That's not one of the things that I do have for him, though, is coming up and making tackles. He does come up and make tackles, but you can see there's not that much umph, a little light behind the pads. So, yeah, you just do more power cleans. You eat a little bit more food, Jake. Stay fast, get more explosive, and you ball out. At the end of the day, Jake, you want your corners to be physical. You want them to put hands on people and basically stop the run at times, right? And so for him, make sure you put on tape that you can stop the run, right? That you can shut some people down. But in the pass game, a defensive coordinator picked him, or the Washington football team picked him early because he's a defensive coordinator's dream come true. Just know that when he's on the football field, the ball's going to get to his hands at some point, and that you're going to be pointing the other direction most games. Adding to that, Quan Martin, another ball hawk, Jake. Watching his film, the Fighting Illinois, their defensive backs coach, their whole defense, like, give them a trophy, give them their flowers right now, because the way that they got these guys in the NFL, second round, third round, I mean, these guys are doing extremely well. So I love it to see the Washington Commanders really firm up that secondary, like you said. Early in the round, they're like, okay, let's firm up the secondary. We got Eric Bieniemy on the offensive side. We're going to score touchdowns. We're going to figure this out, but let's make sure we can get Eric the football back. And you got ball hawks that can get it done. Quan Martin, Jake, I mean, like you said, line him up in slot, line him up on the outside, line him up at safety. It don't matter. He's what you call a football player. He's a football player. He's going to get the football back to you, and you're going to be happy about it. And then going to Ricky Stromberg, Jake, it was really cool to see him get picked. I know he's one of your guys. What I have for him, I can see him playing in the NFL as long as he stays healthy for a long time. I got savvy vet here. You'll see with him on his tape, he does great with his combination block. So whenever he's, if people don't know what a combination block is, when you're double up with, let's say, a guard or whatever that is, and then you work to the second level. So he does a great job of that. And a lot of times as guards, sometimes your center can leave you hanging, but not Stromberg. He is a guy's guy. You can see it on tape that he loves his teammates. He supports his guys. He's willing to sacrifice for them. So Ricky Stromberg, I love the pick there, Washington Commanders. And then you have another person right here who can help you call plays, right? Eric Bieniemy's like, hey, I want to coach out in the field. Ricky, can I count on you? Yes, I can. Ricky's that guy. So love that pick in Ricky Stromberg. And then we got Braden Daniels, Jake. You talked about our guy segment. He played left guard in 2019, Jake. Played right tackle in 2021, left tackle in 2022. So now get the guy to snap the football, and he can do it all. And I know we joked about this in a few episodes, like, oh, if one guy can play one thing, he can play the other. But he's a true definition of a utility offensive lineman. You can put him anywhere. He's going to play in the NFL for a long time with those skills, with that skill set and those abilities. And then, like you said, capping it off with Rodriguez Jr. coming out of Kentucky. I mean, Jake, you got a guy that can run the football. That's always important. He had a 90% PPF rushing grade, PFF rushing grade, 3.8 yards after contact. He's going to fall forward. He's going to gain some yards. So I love the picks there. Watching the football team. For me, Jake, like I said, give me a B+ there.